Stoic Tang has officially arrived to Oberlin College to further my education, bro. Thank goodness. Alright, let's start off. You can't ignore the red flags and then blame the flag for its color. You cannot blame the flag for what color it shows, because it's always been that color. It's always been that red. It's always been that imminent. Because you've seen all the signs, yet you blame the flag or the person for who they are. You cannot blame somebody for who they are when you neglected all the signs, when you neglected all the hints, all their aspects, all their components. You can't blame the flag when it was you that let it go by and let it go past your head. You let it go through. You didn't have a screening. You didn't have a standard. You didn't have a process to removing the people who have those extremely red flags. Because people are going to be who people are. They're not going to try and change themselves for you all the time. They're not going to be different just right away. People take time to learn, and you have to just accept people for who they are at this moment right now. Because it's hard to try and change somebody or to try and dislike someone because you've finally seen their whole image. You've seen parts of this puzzle, but you just decided to not make it count. You just decided to tolerate. You decide to tolerate the things that you can't tolerate. And it can only happen for so long. Eventually, you're going to be tired. You're going to be sick of it. You're going to be sick of all the things that they're showing to you, of all the disrespect, of all the disloyalty. I'm not saying those are the things that you can see in a red flag, but a red flag already has signs. There's something that they did at the very start that is a deal breaker. A deal breaker for you. A deal breaker for your standards. A deal breaker for someone you want. And it's not necessarily only being about someone you want. There's red flags in everything. Literally everything. There's red flags in the life you choose to live. When you start doing bad habits, your whole life is going to be affected upon that. And your friends also have red flags. They disrespect you when you win something. They disrespect you when you lose something. They don't help you, support you. And are those the right people that you want to be with? Are those the people that you want to praise? Can't be. That's why people keep changing their circle, because obviously people who can't nurture you are people who can't stay, or people who only want to reap the rewards without planting the seeds. You can't reap the rewards of a tree when you didn't plant the seeds, when you weren't there to water it, when you weren't there to place the seeds in the right spot for sunlight. You know what I mean? You can't just expect to take all the fruits of their labor when you didn't want to help, when you didn't want to be a part of their life. Okay? So red flags are everywhere. Red flags are in everything that you do. Little do you know, red flags just mean danger. Red flags just mean hints to something that you don't want to see someone doing, or to something in some quality that looks bad, or it looks dangerous in your sense. Like the red button. You don't just hit the red button every time. You only hit the red button when nothing's working. You hit the red button when you've exhausted all other options, right? Because that's the last thing that you want. The red flag is the last thing that you want. Yet, if you keep tolerating it every day, then how do you expect for the flag to change? How do you expect for your life to even be happy? Because what a red flag is basically saying, I don't like this. right? You don't like this scenario. You don't like the person. You don't like the component of the person or component of the thing. Let's talk about this for an example, like red flag for drinking Dr. Pepper. What's a red flag there? There's so much sugar, right? You didn't notice the little signs of the 40 grams of sugar, and then later on you wonder why you have you're obese or you have diabetes. Just neglecting those little things, those little factors of every day, those little factors of the things you do every day, like drinking Dr. Pepper every day or drinking multiple every day, it's gonna eventually compound, and you're gonna be looking at yourself, why did I drink so much? Why did I not think about it, the little things? Why did I not think about the sugar? You've seen the red flag ever since. You know that it was bad for you. But you didn't mind it. You tolerated it. And then it eventually became too much for you to handle. It became a burden upon your plate, a burden upon your life. And now you have to deal with the consequence. And just because you failed, just because you let the red flags go through, doesn't mean you can't come back. Because after you become obese, after you have diabetes, you can completely quit drinking Dr. Pepper. You can completely quit the red flag that you've been tolerating this whole time. And then guess what? Your life becomes better. You lose the weight. You become healthy. And then neglecting the red flag is going to make you happier too. I finally accomplished something that I've always wanted to accomplish. To stop drinking this. To stop tolerating this. To stop accepting everything. Because you've got to have the standard, or other people are going to put the standard upon you. If you don't have the standard yourself, how do you expect people to just see you for who you are? It's not going to happen. People are going to have standards. They want to have good friends. They want to have supporting friends. They want to have a supporting partner, a loyal partner, a compassionate partner, or a passionate friend for whatever they're going to do, right? You don't want a person that doesn't have standards for themselves, that doesn't like themselves, that doesn't respect themselves. If they can't respect themselves, then they can't respect anybody else. They can't respect the thing that they're doing. They can't respect the passion that they're trying to pursue. So you need a type of standards. And you need a type of person that's going to love themselves, be independent, but at the same time, neglect the red flags. Because accepting red flags means you think you're not good enough. You think you deserve this treatment. You think you deserve this weight gain from Dr. Pepper. You know what I mean? It's hard, it's hard to just not accept things for what they are anymore, but you have to say no. At some point you have to say no. You have to put the fork down. Or you have to put your foot down and say, that's enough. I'm done with this. I'm done with accepting what's worse for me, what's a red flag for me, what's not right for me. If I don't like the scenario, I'm going to change it. That's how you're going to live now. That's a mentality to get you forward, to living a life that you always wanted to live. Because all it takes is a little progress every day. Is neglecting another red flag. Is getting rid of that red flag. One by one. Because everything you do, there's something bad upon the aspects that you do it. There's something bad upon the component of just sleeping on the side, of just sleeping with no pillow, for example. You can change that. Of just brushing with a hard toothbrush. You can change that. It's the little things. To make your life eventually better, you have to fix the small habits. You have to fix your bed every day. You have to be organized. You have to have some social conversation. You have to not be so introverted. And you have to get rid of sin. Right? And then eventually you'll be like, I've went that far. I've came this far. I can do anything now. I'm able to conquer the planet quite literally. It's not a rat race for me. It's just a race upon myself. It's not a rat race because everyone's trying to get to the bag. It's only a race of how fast I can get rid of those red flags. It's only a race of how I can change my life for the better by tolerating nothing. Okay? Stoic Tang here, Oberlin College, first video. I hope that helped you. And I hope that you will stop ignoring the red flags. Because you can't blame a flag for its color. Thank you.